Hey, everybody, welcome back to the channel, All Things Business. I'm so glad to have my dear friend from, 20, I don't know how many years it's been. It's been 20 plus years,
More than 20, Al.
28, 25,
Close to
28,
30. Close to 30.
close to 30 years. Dear friend of mine. He'll tell you how we got started, how we met, hopefully when he start off. So he's back with us today. He's in his home in Jerome, Arizona, up in the mountains. He's had that place for 30 years. He's got a place in Vegas on the Strip. He has another place up in the mountains here in Vegas, outside of Vegas, up in Mount Charleston, which I visited, and it's a beautiful log cabin.
I bought a
Oh,
place in Eastern Tennessee. I sold the place on Mount Charleston. Yeah.
oh, you
You didn't
you, you sold a place on Mount Charleston?
did. Yeah.
I,
I'll have to fill you in.
I didn't know that. So yeah, I used to go to Mount Charleston. We sit out there on this deck and have cigars and be on lookout for mountain lions and all kind of wildlife. And so with that said, Mr. Jordan Allen, welcome back to the call, sir.
Man,
My
it's
dear
good to be
friend.
here, Al. It's good to be here with my old friend Al Thomas. Featured in my book Beach Money. Got a whole chapter on Al Thomas in my book Beach Money that I wrote 18 years ago. So Al had lots of success already at 18 years ago. And his story was an integral part of my story. And so I decided to put him in the book, and it sold over 1 million copies worldwide, still selling today. And
Yeah.
it's also on Audible. So, but Al is in the book. He's a close friend. He's done extremely well in business, and I'm just excited to be here with you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. Tell everybody how we met, because that's one of the questions people always want to know when I talk about I'm having Mr. Jordan Allen on the call, my dear. Well, how'd you guys meet? How'd you guys meet? So this time this will help people understand how we met. So give your
Yeah,
version.
yeah. So I actually saw Al speak before I met him in person, and I had been involved in network marketing for 10 years, and I'd never signed anybody up, not one single person. I was in 11 different companies. And then I joined my 12th company on my 11th year. And I went to a business presentation at the Safari Resort, which is no longer there, at Camelback and Scottsdale Road in Scottsdale, Arizona. There were about 200 people in the room, and Al was introduced, and he was brought up onto the stage, and he was making everybody laugh, and he was just entertaining the way he does. And there was a lot of success in the room, and I got excited about it. Never met Al, though. I don't believe I met you, Al, that night. I may have just shook your hand. I don't know. But then a couple months later, I joined the company, and then a couple months later, I had no money. I had $36,000 in credit card debt on 22 credit cards. I was living in a beat up old rental in Old Town Tempe. I actually had the garage. My rent was $200 a month. I was 34 years old at the time, and I was had a job that had just with a company that had just filed bankruptcy and cut my pay in half from 28,000 a year to 14,000 a year. So at the age of 34, I didn't have a running vehicle. I was making $14,000 a year, 22 credit cards, $36,000 in debt. I went to see Al speak, got involved. Well, this couple who was part of that company kind of took a liking to me, and they saw something in me that I really wasn't even sure I saw in myself, and they invited me to come on a trip to San Francisco, and so I got invited to go, but I didn't have the money, so they paid for my trip. They paid for my flight. They paid for my hotel. And after the presentation in San Francisco, I got invited to this dinner with the top earners in the company, and Al Thomas was one of those people. So we were sitting around a table having dinner, and I just sat back and listened and tried to take notes. I did have a notepad and a pen, and everybody there were five figure, and even one. But at that point, I don't know if he had broken six figures, but he was high five figures per month. Eventually, that guy went on, Al's friend and my friend went on to make over $1 million a month in that company. Al went on to make high six figures per month. And, but I was sitting around this table with all these people that are making, five times what I'd ever made in a year. They're making it in a month. And I'm learning from them. And I thought to myself, that's when I met Al. And I thought, someday I would love to be on the stage with these people. And sure enough, I just went to work, and it took a number of years before that happened. But by my third year, I was actually speaking on stage with Al Thomas, and it was surreal to be on stage with guys like Al. and we became very close friends and peers, and we traveled the world together, and we to this day we're still experiencing life, right, Al, all over the
Still
world.
traveling together and experiencing life. You said something really profound. I want to recap so people really get the gist of it. Not that they might have missed it, but he said he wanted to be one of the high six-figure income earners, and he said he went to work. So, guys, that was a nugget right there. He went to work, and he said by his third year, then he was on stage. So, in other words, he made a decision and went to work to make it real. Continue on.
My first year in that company, this is after meeting Al and about 8 other people that were all top earners. And I like literally, I had no business being around that table. I mean, it was Jay and Meg Smith and Al Thomas and Russ and Mary Nolan and you, Al. And I'm sitting around this table with these people that are like the pioneers, not just in that company, but in the industry. Because back then it was a very different industry. These are pioneers. These are people that whose names were known everywhere in network marketing. I'm sitting around the table with these people, and I had never made a penny in network marketing, never signed up a single person. But I got around the fire, and I listened, and as I was hearing their stories, it was very clear to me that the only difference between me and them is that I hadn't done the business and worked it long enough. Because they had stories of hardship and trials and tribulations that were similar to mine. Some of them did. And I thought, if they can, I really honestly, as cliche as it sounds, I thought to myself, if they can do it, I can do it. At the end of my first year, by the way, in that company, I was making $180 a month, less than $200 a month. At the end of my first year in the company that I went on to make millions of dollars. At the end of my third year, and my checks fluctuated. The most they ever got to was, I think, $2,250 over the course of 3 years. And then on my 33rd month, I believe, between my 33rd month, 34th month, and my 40th month, my income skyrocketed to over $30,000 a month. But it was during that short period of time after I'd put in 3 years of work. And it was a result of one person I sponsored. It was my 16th distributor that I sponsored. The first 15 did nothing. They signed up in the business. Most of them just quit. A few of them just became customers. But my 16th person somewhere around my 15th month, she decided that she wanted to build this with me. She was a analyst at the airline that I worked for, and her husband was an airline pilot, and they were very, very, very skeptical. And on Christmas, we were friends, and on Christmas they invited me to their home for dinner, and I went there. And after dinner on Christmas night, we spent a couple hours, 3 hours, going over the plans and talking about how everything worked. And they decided they wanted to do it, and they got excited, and they started building the business. Well, they signed up a woman in New Mexico that was a secretary and a student, and they were good friends. And her husband was an airline pilot as well. And myself and Jackie, once in a while we'd go to New Mexico, and they'd invite a bunch of people, and we'd all get together. And we did that for a few years. And that one leg, my 16th leg, went from Jackie to over 12,000 distributors and over 40,000 customers. That was my 16th. Well, I was with that company for 13 years. And in those 13 years, 144 months, I signed up 129 people. So less than one a month. But from those 129 that I personally signed up, 5 of them turned into a group of 85,000 distributors and 250,000 customers. And I made millions with that company. So 5 out of 129. That means 124 either quit or became customers. And that's kind of how it is in this business. Most of the time, the people that make you your big money are people you don't even know. They come in your organization somewhere down, and they just go to work,
Well, like you said, people that they made a decision. You said you sat down and you had dinner. You guys spent 3 hours together because they were really focused, and they made a decision. You said that a couple of times. They made a decision to get it done and to go to work. I remember that company you worked for was American West, wasn't it?
America West Airlines, yeah.
Yeah, I remember the stories. We go way back with that one. Now, notice what he said. Out of 129 people, 129 people, 5 people decided, and then over 85,000 distributors came through that organization, and millions of dollars he was made through that. So what are we trying to explain to you guys? Number one, he's stuck in there. Number two, if you can't see it on the outside making the money just yet, or making the ideals or reps, whatever you're getting, remember, it's working on the inside of you. He kept going over the course of 3 years, and that by the 33rd, 34th month, 40, he's making 30 grand a month. But he had to start and keep at it because he made a decision. And the rest is a history, a
Yeah,
story.
now I went through some things just like you did. You know, we were with that company was 16 years old. It was a $1.5 billion network marketing company. And, you know, we were riding high, getting the big checks and traveling all over the world and having a great time. And then something changed in the marketplace that affected our product, like a huge shift in technology that affected our product. And to make a long story short, we went from being a $1 billion company to overnight being a $300 million company, and we couldn't pay our bills. And
Yeah.
literally, when I say overnight, I'm talking within a couple of months. And our company couldn't pay its bills. So one day they shut everything down. So we were faced with, you know, not just people, you know, people making 6 figures, 5 figures, and 6 figures a month, but people that were making 2,000 a month and 3,000 a month that are barely making it on that money, and they need that money. And then all of a sudden, one day, boom, it's gone. And that happens in sometimes, you know, and your security never comes in the company that you're with. It's not your company that's going to give you security. There's a few things, three things. It's your mindset, it's your skills, and it's your work. Those are the three things that are going to impact or are going to determine the security that you have in your business. Oh, fourth one, very important, network, your network. Those four things are going to determine your security. So anyway, I joined a company 20 years ago that I'm still with today. And in this company, I just took what I learned there, what I learned from Al and from many others, and I applied it to where I'm here today. And I've wiped out my numbers from that company. Personally signed up about 700 people. And from those 700, I've got over 1 million users that use our product. And so I just took it and I started doing, honestly, I started doing in a day what used to take me a month to do. And technology helps with that too.
Yeah, with the technology out today, it's easier. I mean, you don't have to travel as much. We have the late night dinners, airports, going here to there. I mean, hotels late. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, I
Yeah.
used to suitcase when I have one at the house ready to go. So I got back home, grab that one overnight, 2 nights at home, and then go out again. I spent 20 out of 28 days or 30 on the road. So I understand, man, technology. Now you said something I want to break down. He said everybody about security. He says number one, mindset. You got to get your mindset right. And that's what's important here, to get your mindset right. It doesn't come overnight. People think Jordan was overnight success. No. You just see the 3 or 4 years of hard work. By my third year, I was doing 60 grand a month, but it took the mindset and sticking in there, even though you don't see the production coming, but it's in there and you got to work at it. Then he said something about skills. You got to improve your skill. And you guys know my number one skill is listening. So there's a gate of listening, a gate of eye seeing, and a gate of smelling. And one X output, this is called talking, to your skills. And then he says, your work ethic. Your work ethic is so important. I mean, I put to it, and we talk about this work ethic. You got to continue doing the same thing. And then the fourth thing he said is your network will determine your net worth. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So now we're at the point of Jordan has done well. He's got a place here in Vegas on the Strip. I've been there. It's beautiful. At the I ain't gonna say the location, but it's on the Strip here in town, which is gorgeous, beautiful views. And he also just got rid of the one where he's at right now in Jerome, in his place in Jerome. He's had for 30 plus years. Plus, he just sold your place here out in Mount Charleston.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was there. They don't allow Airbnb up there on the mountain. And I only was there 5 days. I've had it for 10 years. I was only there 5 days this year. And in the last 12 months, I'd only gotten up there 5 days. And it's very extreme weather. You know, we get 10 feet of snow, and I had all that money tied up in it. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do other stuff with that. Anyway, I bought some land in Eastern Tennessee with a tiny cabin and a beautiful waterfall and a stream and 10 acres. And so I just kind of replaced that with that. And but I like to keep things moving. I love the game. I love the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. And people don't understand that once you get to that level, I always talk about there's 4 levels of money. First of all, there's survival money, people out in the street at night doing the wrong things just to survive. And then we have the second level of money called everyday money. You know, we got in our pockets, pay bills. The third level of money is called investment money, where they can enjoy a network marketing company, build a real estate company, build a traditional business, whatever, but they have excess. And then the fourth level of money, which we're at today, is called FU money. And it's not what you think it is. It's called Fun Unlimited. And you just described that. I said, well, all that money's tied up there in Mount Charleston. I took that money and bought, see, that's what I'm talking about. You have the options to have more fun. And like you say, enjoy the game of money.
Yeah. One of the things that Al said when he went back and reviewed the 4 things that I mentioned on security for your life, one of them is work. And it's not just work, but it's working even when you don't feel like it. And most people on their journey up, and the reason they never make it to the reason they don't reach, most people don't reach their dreams, is because they'll only work when they feel like working. And so you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have big ups and you're going to have big downs. And in the beginning, your downs may be bigger. There may be more downs than there are ups. And during that time, you're going to question yourself. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to wonder if it's going to work for you. Other people are going to tell you that you're wasting your time, all that kind of stuff. But the only people that make it are the ones that work even when they're not feeling it. And so when you're having down days, that's the day that you want to turn it up a little bit and work a little harder. And like Al says, you can fire yourself, but then just go rehire yourself. Sometimes you do need to take 4 hours off or a day off, sleep it off, but the next day you got to go to work whether you feel like it or not.
I talk about, I talk about the 5 things. Number 1 is commitment. Jordan Allen was committed to it, even though 3 years, nothing. I mean, he was committed. Number 2, he was persistent. Number 3, he was determined to see the job through, no matter what it looked like on the outside. It was still working on him on the inside, and he kept going till he persisted to show it. And number 4, he had faith, something you can't see, you can't touch. He had faith in himself. Like he said, when you start making the money, your money's made through you, and you take it, invest it. And the last thing is number 5 is have a burning desire to want it. Burning desire means getting up and pushing through when you don't feel like doing it. Some of you out there today have a business. You don't feel like going every day, but if you don't go, you don't make the money to pay the bills. Some of you have a job and you're just pushing. You don't want to go there either, but you do it anyway. So what if you put an hour or 2 in your own business? Do you realize where you'll be in a couple of years in a network marketing business? Would you agree with that, Jordan?
Yeah, because we get leverage in our business that you don't get anywhere else. Rarely will you see it. No jobs provide leverage, but because you have leverage, you can put in an hour a week. Let's say you could put in 5 hours a week. 5 hours a week. If you can find one other person that can put in 5 hours a week, now you're benefiting from 10 hours worth of work a week, but you're only putting in 5. What if a couple of these people each find somebody that can put in 5 hours a week? Now you're benefiting from 5, 10 plus another 20. Now you're benefiting from 30 hours worth of work a week, but how much are you putting in? 5. That's leverage. So as your team grows, not everybody's going to do it. Some people won't do anything, but there'll be a few people that'll put in 5 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours, 20 hours a week, and you get to benefit from everything that they do over time. That's why you can create a residual check that will pay you whether you go to work or not, or while you're sleeping. Seriously, when we talk about getting paid while you sleep, this is real. Like this, in this business, you can be paid while you're sleeping. Your business runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Yeah, it's like a snowball going down the hill. Once it gets started, you can stop if you want to, and it gets bigger as it gets to the bottom of the hill. Yes, you're going to lose a little snow, but you're going to put more on because your organization is multiplying out further. I describe it this way. Here's work, work, check every 2 weeks. Here's network marketing, work, check. And after a while, work, still check over here. Over here is work, check. And over here, 2 weeks, work, and you're fired. And over here is work, check, work, vacation, check, work. See, the difference is it's compounding. Would you agree?
That's it. You said that is as good as it can be said.
Yeah, it's just compounding. And most of us were never taught compounding in school. My mentor and those three billionaires that God gave me sat me down and explained the law of leverage and the law of residual income. And he says, son, these are things you won't get from your mom and your dad or schools or colleges, because they want to teach you how to W, work for money. He says, wealthy people take the W, flip it upside down. We make money so we don't have to work for money. And I said, oh my God, it was a new way of thinking. And that's what changed my life. So,
Al, I got to tell a quick story. I got invited to go to the Bora Bora to Bora Bora, and that's where they filmed Couples Retreat. We stayed at the St. Regis where they films the Couples Retreat, where the water is like turquoise blue everywhere you look. Have you been to Bora Bora?
no, not yet, but I just got back from Turk and Caicos where the water is the same way, I believe. Go ahead.
So anyway, we went with a surgeon. He's an orthopedic surgeon, #1 orthopedic surgeon in Las Vegas. He's got billboards all over town, and he's got a big, surgery center. And he's got he's got a couple of private jets, and he's with his wife. And we flew on his private jet to LA, and then we took an international flight. And we're laying out on these big tubes in the water with a beautiful estate, and we're just like hanging out on, and he's there, and he doesn't understand our business at all. I mean, he makes millions, he doesn't understand it. And he said, while we were all out, it's peaceful, super quiet, there's the sand, the white sand, and the beautiful blue water, and we're laying there, and he goes, Jordan, and we're with a little group, like there's 8 of us. Jordan, I never understood your business. He said, but I'm stressed out right now. I go, what? How can you be stressed out here? He goes, because when I'm not doing surgery, I'm not getting paid. And I understand now you guys are getting paid while you're laying out here. I'm like, yep. Now, of course, he didn't, the guy's got more money than he can spend, but still, he understood. It was the first time he really understood the idea of residual income. He never got it before because he would never talk.
You know what I find out, Jordan? People like that, doctors, lawyers, people professional, the whole gamma, once they step away into something, a different arena, like being on vacation, and then it ding dong, that light bulb goes off like, wait a minute, Jordan and Al Thomas are still making money even though they're on vacation. And he's stressed out because he realized if he's not there, he's not making money. He's questioning, what is the staff doing? And now he has a chance to step away and look at it from a different bird's eye view from the top down and say, wow.
Yeah.
That's a good story.
Absolutely. One more thing that we didn't talk about that's super important that most people miss because they're so focused on the hunt, so focused on winning. They forget that winning will not come without gratitude for being grateful yourself for all the things that are around you already, the blessings that you have around you first, then being grateful, and then sharing that gratitude. It's not just being grateful, but it's sharing that gratitude with other people, sharing that gratitude, and then helping other people become grateful. So when you do that within your team, that's what the strongest builders in network marketing, they're really good at that, but it's not talked about enough. It's not talked about.
One of the things I do in the morning is I read a book of Proverbs every day. There's 31 books. And believe it or not, the Bible is not about religion. It's about stories. And it's about, if you do this, you'll get this. So anyway, but I get up with the attitude of gratitude. And just, I get up and I'm still amazed. I turn on the spigot and cold water comes out. I turn the other one, hot water. I don't know how that even works. I go to my wall, the thermometer. I don't know how I have no idea how this works, but I'm so grateful. And I tell people we could have woke up in a blown up country this morning, but we didn't. We have a lot to be grateful for. And I think if we go with the attitude of gratitude, that'll vault us into a blessing of start the day off in a great avenue, great way. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. Well, give us a word or two in closing, sir. We thank you for your time. So I know you got things to do. I know you got a crazy schedule, and I thank you for allowing me to get in there and taking some time of your day to day before we get started. And any words in closing?
The only thing I would say is that just understand that we're human. Our emotions go up and down. You're going to have many down days. You're going to have some up days, and you're going to have days that you're going to question and doubt, just like we talked about. But if you want to win in this business, you have to do the consistent work, whether you feel like it or not. Make your decisions based on what you're committed to, not based on how you're feeling. Make your decisions based on what you're committed to, like like things that your life depends on it, versus how am I feeling today? Because if you do it based on how you're feeling, you're not going to make it. The opportunity is vast. We live in an abundant world. You can create whatever you want to create. So stay close to the fire. Al's a great mentor and a great coach, and so make sure that you get around him and learn from him as much as possible.
Well, thank you, my friend. Not only that, you said something very great about emotions. Folks, really take your emotions. When your best friends tell you no or love it, don't take it personal. It's they're saying no, I don't understand, or no now, not now. So don't take if you guys can really get what Jordan said out of the last piece here, take the emotions out of it. It takes so many people out of this game because they haven't developed that skill set to understanding a no will get you closer to a yes.
Run the play. Run the play.
Huh?
Run the play, whether you feel like it or not. Run the play.
Yeah. And the football players on the field run the play. Basketball, I was watching Olympics, a basketball team, America took the gold, but they had to run the play. And let me tell you something, guys, you can't run the play being in the bleachers. The guys on the field makes the money. So get out of the bleachers and get on the field to make the money. Get in the game to make the money. Don't be paying for sitting in there watching, and get there and start playing in the game. Well, listen, everybody, I want to thank my dear friend Jordan Adler for taking time out of the day. He's up at his place in Jerome, Arizona, and I did, so we want to thank you, sir. Appreciate you so much. Looking forward to get with you. We come back to Vegas. We can sit down and have a cigar again, enjoy each other's company as always, and get caught up on a lot of stuff and who's doing what. So with that said, sir, thank you so much, my friend. We'll talk to you. We appreciate you so much. Everybody hit the subscribe channel below and also leave a comment. Please leave a comment and share this with at least 7 or 8 people and watch what happens for you.